We're now recording. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to our Edge Designations FRM study program exam strategy session. I'm hoping that we've got the right target over here, and it doesn't matter if you're not writing in August, but my assumption is that most of the guys and girls on our call today are writing in August 25. Okay, if you're writing in November, it makes no difference. You'll gain a whole batch of benefit from this one as well. No stress there. First and foremost, for those that are not familiar with us here at Edge, with our program, my name is Russell Jude. I head up the program on the FRM side, and I run a prep provider company, very similar. People ask us often, who are we most comparable to? We do very similar work to Kaplan in that we give out a complete set of notes, videos, question bank, exams, and all that kind of stuff for all the various designations. So that is us, Edge Designations. Okay, and we do prep for CFA, FRM, Kaya, and FDP as well. For those perhaps not familiar with FDP, FDP is a designation that stands for Financial Data Professional. It's quite a new designation out there, and used to fall underneath the Kaya banner, now stands on its own, and it's related to things like machine learning, data processing, AI, generative AI, all that kind of good stuff. And it's an official designation that's out there in the market as we speak. Okay. Um, for those interested, there is our website. Those who would like to take a look, www.edgedesignations.com. Why do we call ourselves Edge Designations? We do designations. Okay, nice and easy. Okay, and what I'll do at the end of today's session as well, and I'll put it up for you here for everybody now. And I'll give it to you at the end of the session as well. Just though, for those that are interested, here is my email address. It's russellj at ebs.co.za for anybody that would like to make contact with me, questions, queries, concerns, anything like that. Okay, so there we go. And guys, as we go through it, just to handle a little bit of the admin before we get our session going. Number one, we're very blessed to have people from all over the globe. So I have no idea what time it is in your particular location. All you need to do is add on 1 hour. Okay, and we will be done. Maybe a bit quicker, but we won't go over the hour. Okay. Another question over here. Would I be sharing the recording? Yes, absolutely. As soon as the session is over, we just do all the whatever you do on the computer. Okay. And it gets it all ready for us, and then we will be able to share that. I always like to distill it down into a YouTube format so it's nice and easy for people to view afterwards. Just takes us a bit of time, but definitely by either tonight or Monday morning, you will have it on your desks. Okay. In terms of how I want to run the session, guys, I don't typically leave time at the end of the session for questions. We will have a little bit of time, but not ask your questions as and when we go through the session, guys. Absolute pleasure. Just pop it in the chat box, and I keep monitoring the chat box, me and the team that's around me here, and we will be able to answer the questions for you as they come about. Okay. What is the purpose of today's session, guys? Let's get going straight away. The purpose of today's session is to provide a little bit of exam strategy for the FRM Part 1 exam. Doesn't matter if you're writing in August or in November. Okay. Reason being, okay, that I find strategy such an important component of the exam process, okay, is I often get candidates and they come to me with their FRM results, and having done this forever, okay, I can see very clearly that they probably failed this exam by 1 mark, 2 marks, could be 3 marks, not much more than that, guys. Okay, and with proper strategy, we can just push you over that. Okay, I always laugh with candidates. If you come to me and your results are absolutely terrible and you fail, well, then you fail, don't you? Okay, that's no, it is what it is. If you haven't studied hard enough, and you haven't got the material under your belt, well, then yeah, okay, it is what it is. But if you studied hard and you've prepared well and you are right up there in terms of your passing, and 1 or 2 little bad strategic moves are going to knock you down, that's what I want to try and get right. Okay. And remember, guys, when we look at the dates, we've still got quite a bit of time till exam time, probably about a month round about that. So we've got plenty of time to get the strategy in place and get you over the line. Okay. So let's get ourselves going straight away, guys, and let us have a look at what is involved in FRM Part 1. Hopefully by now, if you're writing in August, you know very well what is involved, but let's just have a quick look over here. FRM Part 1 breaks down into 4 books. Okay, you've got your first book, which is interesting. It's called FRM. Okay, FRM stands for the Fundamentals of Risk Management. It's a 20% book. A 20% book means, okay, and just to get straight into the process, a 20% book, if we are looking at an exam that has got 100 multiple choice questions in it, okay, a 20% book means there are going to be approximately 20 multiple choice questions. Okay, that's the first book. That's the FRM. That's the Fundamentals of Risk Management. Now, when we look at the book, and we've got to be quite strategic around our studies, guys, is this book, as I say, I've done this forever. Okay, and I've taught this course almost forever. So, and FRM, by the way, FRM Part 1 particularly hasn't made much change in the syllabus for quite a long time. So we're very used to the syllabus by now. And this particular book, Book 1, okay, candidates rate it, prep providers rate it, is probably your easiest of the 4 books. Okay, so out of those 20 marks, guys, this is where you really, really need to score as high as you can. Try and just milk as many marks out of this book number 1 as you can, because it's going to be the easier book. Why do candidates not sometimes get the most amount of marks out of book number 1? Okay, because it's the book that's not really that calculation heavy. Okay, yes, there are calculations, okay, but it's the book that's not so typically calculation heavy. So people don't really want to study it, do they? Okay, but guys, put the effort into this one. It's easy. Yes, it takes the time to study it, but it's an easy book. Try and score as much as you can on that one. Okay, in terms of book number 2, this is the one that somehow, okay, that upsets everybody. Quantitative analysis. And remember, guys, I'm going to take you through the detail behind these books later on in today's session, just to give you a bit of a detailed and a deeper look. But again, 20%, 20 marks, okay, and truthfully, guys, this is not the most difficult section, but yet, okay, people do tend to battle a lot with this section. Okay, it's really as the topic says, it's a book that is quite related to quants, but it's not heavy quants. Okay, it's probabilities. It's multivariate, multi and univariate. Okay, we're going to look right at the back end of this particular book number 2. We move to things like machine learning, which are new topics that have been added. Yes, there are a few crazy quant topics related in book number 2, guys. I'm not going to lie. Okay, there's things like non-stationary time series, which does get a little bit interesting. Okay, but remember a lot, and this is where a lot of people fall over. They say, "Oh, I'm not so strong on quants." Okay, and this is going to be my bad book. But remember, guys, of these 20 marks, and I'll take you through them as we go. We'll look at the detail a little bit later on in today's session. It's sample moments. It's hypothesis testing, linear regression, multiple linear regression, regression diagnostics. So the first component, anyway, at least, okay, random variables, all that kind of good stuff. The first component of this particular book, book 2, is not difficult. Okay, so you may not be scoring your highest amount of marks in book 2, but just in terms of the mindset, please don't write it off. Okay, people always ask, well, what is a person who doesn't love quants? What is he doing in FRM anyway? Guys, there's a lot of guys over here in FRM that are not specifically quants. Doesn't matter at all. Okay, there's a lot of good stuff for you here in the risk component. Okay, we then look at book number 3. Okay, book number 3, it's got an interesting title called Financial Markets and Products, 30%. I'll give it a very simple name. I call it, well, it's 30 marks, guys, and I just call this the derivatives book. Okay, it is packed with derivatives, forwards, futures, options, swaps. It's just packed from top to bottom, guys, with derivatives. That's book number 3. Not an easy book. Not an easy book. Okay, but again, when you spend the time doing the derivatives, that's doing the work, nothing too crazy. Okay, it's really about a deep dive into the material and understanding the material well. There we go. Okay, and our last book, book number 4, VRM, Valuation and Risk Modeling. Okay, also a 30% book. Okay, um, and it's a bit of a mixed bag. Okay, it's got quite a lot of fixed income in there, bonds, duration, okay, DVO1s, things like that. So quite a lot of bonds, quite a lot of VAR in there, value at risk. It makes up quite a nice component over there. It's also got a bit of credit risk, operational risk. We'll find it's way in there as well. And interesting enough, I'm not sure why, okay, but you also find the three option, which should have been in book number 3 for derivatives. You find those there as well: the binomial tree model, the Black-Scholes-Merton model, and the Greeks. They find their way, interesting enough, into book number 4. Okay, so guys, coming out of a little bit of an introduction into this particular book that we have to study, the 4 books. Okay, what you notice is heavy weighting on quants, heavy weighting on derivatives, quite a bit on fixed income, and value at risk models as well, VAR models. Okay, so it's quite varied. Okay, is it is everybody says FRM is more difficult than something like perhaps like CFA? You know, the truth is it's not more difficult. Okay, the difference is it's in the line of questioning. Okay, what I mean in the line of questioning, okay, CFA have got each question is 90 seconds, 90, okay, a minute and a half. For us at FRM, it's just under 2.5 minutes. There's a lot more time to ask the questions, okay, which gives GARP and FRM the ability to make them a little bit more detailed, a little bit more complex. So yes, you often find FRM questions in your exam being too layered. Okay, working backwards, trying to work something out. But remember, guys, if you spent the time on your studies and you understand the material, guys, always is going to be the keys. Don't learn stuff off by heart. Okay, understand what you're doing, particularly in FRM. Those that understand the material are going to ace this exam. Okay, so just spend a little bit more time going into the understanding of what we're doing, particularly look at book number 3 around derivatives. Okay, you will find over there that there's a lot to understand. You take that in, you're going to be fine. Okay, let us have a look over here, okay, at the format of the exam. Okay, in terms of the format of the exam, guys, okay, what have we got over here? Okay, we know, you can see how old I am that I still have to put over here computer-based testing, because in my day we used to it was pen and paper testing. Okay, but now it's all computer-based testing. Remember, guys, it's a 4-hour paper, 100% multiple choice. Okay, it's the last designation that I'm aware of, by the way, guys, that for the second level, or in the case of CFA, the third level, that there's no written. Okay, FRM remains multiple choice in part 1 and in part number 2 as well. Okay, so that's where CFA goes for things like constructed response. Kaya has also got constructed response, where you have to write kind of like essays. Okay, of course, now we don't write them anymore. We would type them, but FRM remains multiple choice. Okay, so if we just have a look over here, guys, this is the easy part of the maths. What have we got over here, guys? We have got a total of 4 hours. You've got 100 questions, okay, and you have got 4 hours, nice and easy. This is the easiest maths we'll do all day, and you come out with 2 minutes 24 seconds. You are looking around about, if you work on average, about 2.5 minutes a question. Now, remember, 2.5 minutes for a multiple choice question. When you look at the other designations, CFA, okay, I'll just put them over here for you. I'm just going to look at CFA and Kaya for now. CFA, you've got 90 seconds of multiple choice question, and Kaya, 72 seconds of question. So the other designations are asking their questions in also multiple choice, by the way, guys. Okay, but their multiple choice are much, much quicker and much, much shorter. which then leads FRM in terms of their questioning to be a lot longer, a lot wider, a lot more in details. And often you're going to find in an FRM question there are two parters. The first part is to solve for one part of the derivative equation, which you need its input to solve the second part. Don't be surprised if you get quite a couple of those in FRM. Yes, you're always going to get the ones that are like a little bit shorter, quick, easy, punchy questions. Yes, we're going to find those as well. Okay, and you can make up a bit of time then for the longer ones after that. Okay, but we look at around about 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Just remember 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Okay, is the time that we've got to work with per question. Okay, we're going to talk about strategies in terms of time. Just the one that I'm going to mention over here, guys, you have got 2 minutes, 24 seconds. You have got a total time period then of 4 hours for 100 questions. Guys, the only thing that I can tell you that if I really hit home on one concept today, guys, is that you have to finish this exam. There is no negative marking, so I'm going to give you strategies around that. No negative marking. You have got to finish this exam. Okay, it's not. It's a have to. Okay, that's the only non-negotiable for today. Okay, we look over here, guys, and just into your calculators, you guys are all in level 1, so you may still be a little bit unfamiliar with this. You've got an option of 3 different calculators, guys. You've got your Texas Instruments BA2 Plus. Included in the BA2 Plus, for those that are interested, is the BA2 Plus Professional. Okay, you've also got the HP 10B, and then you've also got the HP 12C. Okay, in terms, if you haven't yet bought a calculator, perhaps, okay, a little bit late in the game, but doesn't matter, then my strong advice is to go for the Texas BA2 Plus. The reason being is it's probably one of the easier ones, maybe not incomparable to the HP 10B, but definitely in relation to the HP 12C, which works on reverse notation, a little bit more difficult. If you haven't yet bought a calculator, guys, go for the Texas BA2 Plus. It's a wonderful calculator. Second reason is also that all of the prep providers, almost exclusively, okay, those that we use, okay, teach on the Texas Instruments BA2 Plus. Okay, so there's very little support for the others. Okay, and we've got a wonderful program here at Edge which teaches our candidates step by step how to use the Texas, from interest rates to amortization tables to time value of money to calculate. Everything's in there. And as just like here at Edge, most of the prep providers, as I say, are teaching on the Texas. Okay, good. We move on a little bit over here, guys. Okay, the exam dates, of course. Okay, May's gone. Those that have done May have done May. Okay, August, 8th and 9th of August. As I said, so you've probably got just under a month. And then again in the November, guys, come back 8th to the 14th of November, a slightly bigger window. FRM have decided, in the past it was only a May and a November window. They've decided to open it up just a little bit to include August in there as well. Okay, but you can see August window is very narrow. Okay, you've only got the 2 days. Okay. Good. And guys, at any point, please feel free to pop your questions in the chat. Absolute pleasure. If I don't see questions, I just keep talking. Okay, let's get ourselves going. Okay, so we do have a question over here. Let's have a look. Okay. How can one keep up with the 2 minutes, 24 seconds when there is no timer per question? Nozipo, it's a fantastic question. And no, I don't want, in terms of writing the exam, guys, don't sit there with a clock, or there's a clock up on the wall, okay? And don't sit and look at the clock and look at the clock. It needs to become a little bit intuitive in terms of the time that you spend on the questions. How do you get to that point in time? It's practice, practice, practice. One of the strategies that I'm going to go through today, guys, is do practice papers, do practice GARP papers, number 1. Okay, and number 2 is when you are deciding on your strategy, and I'm going to give you a couple strategies to work with today. Each person will decide which one works best for them. How do you know which one works best for you? You will decide that when you do practice papers. So the key, guys, today is 3 to 4 weeks, which is around about where we are now. Okay, even if you delay it by one more week, it doesn't matter. But do practice papers. Make sure you do the practice papers in the correct amount of time. You'll start to get used to doing questions in a certain amount of time, and that's the way to do it. But no, I don't want you looking at the clock all day. Okay, 2 minutes 24. Okay, I tick, tick, tick. I've done that one. Next one. It'll make you a bit crazy, won't it? Okay, good. Another question. I see that we are advised to bring spare batteries. Okay. How would you change batteries in the middle of an exam? Okay. You won't. Okay. I'm just going to file this for you here, guys. Here we go. This is the one that I use. This is the Texas BA2 Plus. Okay. Yes, you need batteries to, and a screwdriver to undo the back of this to put your batteries in. What I always do, guys, okay, just a bit of advice, okay, is buy yourself a brand new set of batteries, okay, and put them in. Then you are guaranteed that they're going to work throughout the session. It's only 4 hours, guys. They will work. But no, there's two strategies. Number one is bring a second calculator. That's what I always used to do. Bring two calculators. Or other than that, guys, change your batteries before. Particularly if you've been using the calculator for a long time and you're not really sure if it's working so well, change them before. Always a better idea. Okay. Okay, how do you know if you failed by a little bit or a lot? Okay, well, you get to see that what they do is when they send you results, they send it in terms of 4 quadrants, okay, and the 4 books. So you can see each and every book how you did. Okay, and then you can see if you're close or not. Okay, what's the winning combination to pass the exam? We're going to go through some techniques today. Okay, and we'll hopefully help you with all of those today. Okay, but remember, guys, as part of your strategy, I once had a girl, okay, that phoned me the night before her CFA level 1 exam. And she said to me, she wants to know if she's going to pass or not. So I said to her, I don't recognize who you are. You're not one of my students. She said, no, she knows that. But I said, no, with pleasure, I'll help you if you need some help. No problem. But I know all my students. Okay. So she said to me, she's gone through the CFA level 1 material twice, I think maybe even 3 times, but she hasn't had time yet to engage in practice exams. What do I think about her chances of passing? So you know what I said to her? I said, I wish you all the best of luck, okay, for tomorrow's exam. I had a family member sitting next to me and they said, but you didn't say anything to her. I said, I know. They said, what do you think? I said that she's definitely going to fail. They said, why'd you tell her that? I said, that's just cruel and unusual, isn't it? Don't tell someone they're going to fail. Give them the best possible chance. But if you have not done practice papers before your exam and strategized around those, guys, no chance. Okay. Just knowing the material is not enough. You need to practice how FRM, how GARP asks their questions. Okay. By the way, she failed the exam. She came back to us as a student next time and she passed. Okay. Good. We've got one more question over here. Okay. Can we go back to the questions in there that we skipped? Yes, I'm going to discuss that with you as part of the strategy today. Good question. Okay, guys, we move on over here, and my friends at CFA have taught me this thing. They say you must put together something that's called tips and tricks. Okay. So we've done that. We're going to present those to you. We've just got one more question over here, and then we'll get going onto the tips and tricks for the exam. We've got someone over here who says, I recently passed CFA level 2 in May and began preparing for level 1 in August. Not a lot of time, but doesn't matter. Immediately after giving me about 76 days of study time. Unfortunately, my mock exam scores are currently below 50, currently lower 50s. Is this still a way to improve my chances? Yes. Okay, you've still got time. Remember, you've got a month still. We're going to show you some techniques. Remember, if your results are below 50, okay, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with everybody here, there's 2 reasons for that. Okay, there's one main reason. Okay, if your results are sitting round about 65, round about that range, good strategy and a little bit of tweaking is going to push you over. If you're 50s or round about there, you need to really go through some big sections of the material from the beginning again and really well. And how do you do that quickly? You've got to find some way of doing it quite quickly, but in detail. Okay, use notes, use videos, whatever you can. I've got some solutions for you here. But remember, guys, if you are sitting in the lower 50s, remember, you still got to get your mark up close to round about 65, 70. Okay, which means that there's still big gaps in the material that you've got to go through. And I'm going to show you which ones today, which ones you should pick on as well. Okay, and give you some tricks around those. Don't worry. Okay, good. Number one, I want to start off with over here, guys. And I want to tell you something about FRM. And just, it was interesting that we got a guy over there talking about CFA. I want to tell you about FRM. Okay, CFA, all topics are equal in CFA. What does that mean? It means however many topics there are, sometimes each one is asked in equal ratios. FRM, not so. Now I want to shift at this point in time, guys, to another document that I've got over here. Okay. Let's just see if I can find this one. Here we go. Okay. This is the one that I want to look at. Okay. And guys, with pleasure, if you want copies of these two documents that I've got, I will make them available to you with absolute pleasure. Okay. But if you look at this particular document, what I've done over here, as you can see, let me just tell you what's in this document. There is book number one. Let's give them all their names. That's book number one. There is book two, the quantitative analysis book. There is book number three. And here on the bottom end over here, guys, is book number four, valuation and risk modeling. What I've done, what FRM does, okay, is they put out a practice exam on an annual basis. Okay. I take that exam, okay, and I analyze it with great detail. Okay. What I've come up with, guys, in terms of FRM and in terms of how FRM was, and by the way, I checked this with the head of content and candidates at FRM, and they say my analysis is a good one. I don't think they wanted me to tell too many people, but they liked the analysis, and they said that the FRM practice papers now that they put out are fairly what one can expect in the exam. Okay. What I did is I took each and every question of the 100 exams, of the 100 marks, okay, and what I did with each of those questions, okay, is I broke them down into where they came from. So I took a FRM past practice paper, okay, and remember what I told you guys, not a lot has changed over the year. Last year, the year before, even the year before. I think the last time FRM made any kind of a change was in 2023, where they only added in two topics anyway. The rest remained the same, predominantly. And I said, well, let's see where the questions are coming from. Okay, now let's have a look. And this is what I say to you guys, that in terms of FRM, not all topics are created equal. Okay, what do I mean by that? Certain topics get a significantly more question time than others. Look at this one. You start doing FRM. So now you remember over here, guys, look at this one. We'll just talk more about this one as a start, but it applies to them all. So we start off over here, guys, and we're looking at book number one. What do you know about book number one? Book number one is a 20% book, which means there are going to be 20 multiple choice questions. Everybody comfortable? Now, when you look at what they actually end up asking, well, they love topic 5. What's topic 5? Modern portfolio theory and CAPM. They love that one. How many questions of 20 do they ask? Remember, guys, if you have to break it down, what would you tell me? Any logical person? Well, book number one has got what? 11 topics, 11 chapters, 11 readings, 20 questions. Okay, so 20 questions, 11 topics, okay, plus minus 2 questions per topic. That analysis would be a reasonable analysis, but that's not what they do. Look what they do. In terms of CAPM, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions on CAPM. Where else do they focus? They also love topic 9, learning from financial disasters. 1, 2, 3. So, guys, and I'm not telling you, I'm not saying leave everything out and don't focus on these, okay? But what do you notice? There are 2 topics and 1 main one, okay? Of those 2, if you do those 2 well, you'll get 8 over there and you'll get 3 over there. Wow, you've got 11 topics. So for learning 2 topics well out of 11, you get most of the marks. Okay, what else do we see over here, guys? And that's what I say, it's just it's a guide. It's not a complete strategy, but it is something that they do tend to focus upon. But you look over here, how do firms manage financial risk? Topic 2, no questions. Governance of risk, no questions. Does that mean that there'll be no questions in the exam? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there is, when you are looking and you're pressured for time, guys, focus then, guys, on the ones where you will get more marks. And I'm showing you which ones they are here. Just one or two questions over here, quick. Okay. Um, Ibrahim, you asked which year's paper has been analyzed here. I think it was 24. Okay. They don't change their papers. Wouldn't make a difference if I took 2021, by the way. Okay. They don't change it. That I can tell you. Not in a bad way, of course. Okay. So you see over here, there's only 18 questions for book one. Sometimes they do that. So remember, it's a guide, guys. When they say 20 questions for book, 20% for book one, okay, it doesn't have to be 20. It'll be roundabout. They're not going to be exact. Okay. And you'll see that in their practice papers as well. Okay. So guys, so looking at book one, where's our focus? Topic 5, CAPM, and topic 9, financial disasters. Moving to book 2, where do we get the focus? Okay. Probability is a nice big one. You get 3 over there. Common univariate random variables, you get 5. Okay. And then you could pick up some others over there. It doesn't seem to be too focused over here, but still, that's 8 marks out of 20 on 2 readings. Can you see what I'm trying to get to over here, guys? And this is hopefully will help, guys, in terms of the focus, where to put. If I say to you guys, listen, you need to really focus deeply on certain topics, you can see where they like to focus. Okay. When we move to book number 3, again, look at this. What do we see over here? Book number 3. Wow. Okay. Using futures for hedging. 1, 2, 3, 4. Financial pricing of financial forwards and futures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Properties of options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Properties of interest rates. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3 over there for swaps. So you can see again, guys, getting into book number 3, don't spend too much time on things like banks, insurance companies, fund management, introduction to derivatives, exchange. That's not where the marks are going to be. Central clearing. Those are not where they're focusing upon. Is everybody clear with the approach that we're trying to get? And yes, guys, with pleasure. I've seen 1 or 2 comments. Will I make this available? Absolutely. I'm going to try even before the end of today's session to try and put it in the chat so you can just take it away with you. Okay. But remember, guys, not everything is similar, is equal. Okay. And look again. It's a consistent theme throughout. Out of 62 readings, topics, chapters, they focus on about 10 or 12. Okay, not that you should leave the rest out, but you should focus more heavily then on the one that we think that is going to come. Look over here. Calculating and applying VAR and measuring and monitoring volatility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. Okay. Duration, convexity, and the DVO1's always been a firm favorite for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if you want to spend on the back end and learn a little bit about options, binomial trees, Black-Scholes, Merton, and the Greeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nice marks on the back end. Okay, so guys, can you just hope 2 things I've got to be very clear when we exit this particular analysis. Number 1 is not all questions are equal, and they do tend to focus on certain ones. Focus more heavily than on those. But number 2, this is not the gospel. Okay, I'm not saying to you, oh, look over here. You know what? You can see over there in the 2024 paper, they didn't ask anything on measuring credit risk. Oh, there'll be no questions in my exam on credit risk. I should leave it out. No, that's not what we're saying. Okay, can you get the general picture of where we're at? Okay, and guys, as I mentioned, I will make this document available to you all. Okay, I want to get back because I see we are running a little bit short of time, but it doesn't matter. We'll make up a bit of time. So have a look then, guys, when I say over there, guys, okay, not all topics are equal. Okay, and that's that whole analysis that we did for you over there. Okay, a strategy per session, so you know which sections you want to be focusing on. Okay, for example, I'm going to take you back there one second over here. Let's share this document back with you again, guys. When you look at this particular document, when I say a strategy per session, look over here. I'm going to just clean this up a little bit. Okay, let's look at book number 2. Everybody hates book number 2 for some reason, except if you're a quant. Then you love book number 2. Okay. So, but what do some people like to do in book number? It's so hard. I can't. But if you have a look at book number 2, look over here. Probability, not crazy. common univariate variables. Okay, sample, hypothesis, linear regression. Okay, when you start to get down to the bottom, I'll change my color over here. Yes, it does get a bit more crazy. Simulation and bootstrapping, measuring return volatility correlation, non-stationary time series. Okay, but remember, guys, if you have to stop at round about that point in time, well, you've got most of the marks. Do you see that, guys? So come up with a strategy that works for you per section. Okay. And again, and focus on the ones where we can see very clearly most of the question, most of the marks are going to come from. Okay. I want to move on a little bit over here, guys. Remember what we said previously. Okay. You have to finish this exam. Some points over here, guys. There is no negative marking. Okay, because there's no negative marking, you need to guess. Now, let me ask you this, guys. I want to check the chat, at least also then I'll know if everybody's still around with me over there. Okay, let's just say, for example, you come to the exam. Okay, I think it was Nozipo, if I'm not mistaken, mentioned before, and now you do happen to look at the clock. You look at the clock. Okay, so I want to break out. I'm going to call this one Category A. I want to go through three different categories of questions. Category A. So now you look over there. Category A is you've got 10 minutes. No. Sorry, my apologies. You've got 3 minutes left. Okay. And you've got question 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 6, 7, 98, 99, okay, and question 100 as well. You've got 10 questions to go. What's your strategy, guys? I want to check the chat. Guys, think about it just for half a minute. What is your strategy? You've got 3 minutes to go. Remember, 3 minutes in FRM, in an FRM context, is around about one question, 2 minutes 24 per question. So you've really got time to do one of them. What do? You've got 10 to go. Tell me what your thoughts are, guys. I'm going to check the chat. Someone says answer all the questions as C. Okay. Let's see what we've got. So someone says answer all C. Someone says pick the nearest answer for each. Okay. Select options randomly. Okay. Constant guessing. Guess B for all. Guess. Okay. So, guys, this is what I would do. Okay. I had a fight, not a fight, a dispute with a CFA level 1 candidate who didn't like my approach. He said he agrees with my approach. Okay, but he said his approach would work as well. I said, I don't think it would. Let me tell you my approach. So my approach is as follows, guys. You've got how long? You've got 3 minutes. You can't answer them. So what do? Pick a letter. So go all A's, or go all B's, go all C's, or go all D's. Is everyone comfortable with that? What does that do for you guys? Okay, my sense is you've got 10 questions and you've got 4 possible options, A, B, C, and D. You're probably going to get 2.5, maybe 3 marks. Okay. Why? 25% probability. Okay. 4 options, 10 marks. Is everybody comfortable? It's very likely, okay, that you're going to get 2.5. And that's the strategy I spoke about before, guys. Okay. When you are short of time, what do? Okay. Answer all the questions. Please don't forget, answer all the questions. Okay. But don't leave these blank because you can end up just giving yourself 2, maybe 3 extra marks. My CFA candidate said, no, you must go, doesn't matter because each probability is the same. So you can go A, C, I think that one will be a B, a D, an A, B, a C, a B, a C, and an A. I said, no, because the problem is that you can get 0 out of 10 doing that approach. I said, that's not how probability works. I sent him back to learn some more probability. But you all agree with that because by guessing like this, yes, on each individual one, you got a 25% probability, but you can get each and every single one wrong. Here, on this approach over here, you are likely to get what, guys? 2.5, 3 free marks. Steal them. Okay, everyone comfortable with that? Okay, guys, so we get rid of that approach. Guys, pick a letter. Whatever your name starts with. If your name starts with an A, you're going to go with A's. If your name starts with a B, B. If your family member, if you're not A, B, or C or D, pick a family member. Okay, good. Number B. I want to go with number B. Number B is okay. You get to a question and you have no idea what that question is about. No idea. Let's just say, for example, okay, they ask you who is the president, and I'm not picking on any country over here. Who is the president of Indonesia? Okay, that's the type of a question for scenario B. Scenario A, you run out of time, put one letter only, but finish. Scenario B is they ask a question to you, who's the president of Indonesia? Hopefully there won't be too many of these in the exam, and you don't have a clue. You just don't know. And it doesn't make a difference if you spend 2 minutes 24 or 2 hours 24. Nothing will come to you from anywhere else in the universe to give you the answer unless you check on Google. Am I right? Okay. What do you do for B? Answer B is, I'm going to call, answer A is 3 minutes left. Scenario B is, we're going to call this the no idea. What do you do? Okay. A, B, C, or D. Now again, you go for your constant one. If you're an A person, you go A's. So let's say, for example, you had 3 or 4 no idea scenarios. You go A for all of them. Yes, I know they'll come up at different times. But then what do? You come to the question. The question says to you, who is the president of Indonesia? You have no idea. What do? If you are an A person, you go A, and what do? You move on. Don't spend time on a question where you have no idea. It's just wasting your time. Nothing will come extra to you in the exam. Yes, if there's a question where you can work it out, work it out. Okay, but I'm talking scenario A, you run out of time. Scenario B, no idea. But when I say no idea, you really just don't know. Okay. Scenario C. This is a very important one, guys. Scenario C is called, we call them time suckers. Okay, so you get to a time sucker and you see it's like this long calculation. And you start and you do it. And it takes you 2 minutes 24. And then what? You let's just say, for example, your answer that you get is 4%. And you look A, B, C, and D, and it's not any of those answers. You think, oh, and I spent so much time working on it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the maths again. I'm sure there's just something little over there. You do it again. And you get these questions, guys, that are called time suckers. They just suck your time. Again, once you have used up a fair measure of time, and don't go too much, and again, it's intuitive how much time to use. You're not sitting there with a watch, but you work out right about how much time. What do, guys? And this will hopefully answer a question that we saw that someone asked before. You put your flag up. What's a flag up? A flag up is, I'm going to come back to you. You flag the question. Don't sit on it. Why not? Because if you sit on a time sucker, you may never have time to come back to the rest. Okay, and some of the ones, the rest of them may be easier marks to score. Generally speaking, a time sucker, if you haven't got it in the first 2.5, 3 minutes, you're not going to get it. Flag it, come back to it. If at the end of the exam you see you've got 4 or 5 time suckers there that you flagged, and you've got 2 minutes to do, what do? A, or B, it doesn't matter. You'll get whatever. You'll pick up a spare mark or 2, which you otherwise would not have got. Is everyone comfortable? So this strategy of going all A's, all B's, all C's is for 3 different scenarios. Scenario number 1 is when you've only got 3 minutes left of the exam. Scenario 2, you have no idea. Scenario 3, time suckers, and you've used up your time, flag it, move on. Okay, and if you've got time at the end, you can go spend as long as you like on the time suckers. If you don't, use the last 2 minutes to go through all your flags and go A, and A. Okay, we've got a question over here. Okay, good. We move on a little bit over here. Okay. And I'm going to start to wind our time down. I never like to go over time for candidates. Plan to finish your study material early. That's roundabout now, and start full practice exams. Time them 3 to 4 weeks before exam times. Doesn't matter if it's 3 weeks. It doesn't matter if it's 2 weeks before exam time. But make sure you get in 3, 4, maybe 5 practice exams. Now, I had a candidate. I ran a revision boot camp down in Cape Town. Those that are familiar with Cape Town. And when I left the session, one of the guys said to me, he was a bit disappointed with one component of the of the boot camp. I said, well, let me hear. And he said, well, we only left, when I left Cape Town, I only left them with 8 practice exams. Well, 8 CFA right half exams, so it was 4 full exams. I said, I don't understand. He said to me, he said, well, I said, explain to me then maybe what is your process? And guys, listen very carefully to this. I said, what is your process of doing exams? He says, listen, he wakes up in the morning, he does an exam, it takes him 2 hours 15. That's the CFA time. He marks it, or the computer marks it for him. He sees what he gets, about 60, 65. He's fairly happy. He goes for a walk, comes back, does a paper in the afternoon, sees what he gets. Hopefully it's a little bit more. He knows he just needs to do a little bit more work, and he gets, okay. I said, but hold on a second. If you are getting 65% for an exam, okay, you're even 70 and you are passing, there's still 30% of the syllabus you're not doing. Where is your feedback process? He says he doesn't feedback. He just sees what he gets and tries to do better next time. I said, that's why you're disappointed. Okay, so guys, when you do practice papers, there are, I know FRM have got a couple. I'll show you our product as well. We've got a couple as well available for you. Okay, do it. Okay, and let's say, for example, you do a practice paper 2-3 weeks before, and you get 65%. My advice is that other 35%, that's what I call the gold, because that area will teach you where you can fix up. This area, you know it. You're getting 65 already. Those sections, you know. Work on the gold. Work on the areas where you're not hitting it. Feed it back. Guys, for a 4-hour paper, should be at least 4 to 5 to 6 hours of feedback. At least. Okay, we then come to another book. I want you to create yourself a book. It's called the feedback book. When I was doing CFA, and when I used to, my candidates used to call it a different book. I call it the mess up list or the mess up book. They called it something with an F. I'm not going to repeat it. It's very rude. Okay. But it's the list of things that you have messed up on. Okay. It's the 35%. So as you go through an exam, write it in the book where you messed up. It's called the mess up book. It's the feedback mess up list. 2-3 days before the exam, a week before, go through it again. The book serves 2 purposes. Purpose number 1, guys, okay, is that if you keep seeing the same thing coming up, probability, what must you do? Go back to the notes and the videos, watch that one again, because that's clearly a weak area. If it's odds and ends that you're picking up, write them in the book and revise them just before, a day or two before the exam. Keep them fresh, and you won't get them wrong in the exam. This is a lovely one, this mess up list, okay, or mess up book, call it what you wish, okay. That's where the gold sits. That's where the learning will be. Don't just do an exam and say, oh, I got 65. Oh, I'm just a bit close. I need another 5%. Then I'll be okay. But what about what you didn't get? Okay. Guys, last little bit in terms of calculator policy. Okay. Please, guys, the calculator, make the calculator your friend. If you have got a calculator and you're not yet familiar with it, practice on the calculator, because if you can work quickly on the calculator, that's where your success will be. As mentioned, guys, we've got a program for the Texas if guys are interested, but that's the one that I have, but I don't have on the others. Okay, I don't think any of the other prep providers do much on the other items. Just before we conclude, I see we have some questions over here. Okay, a question of what should I do if I have no idea, or time suckers like 7? Doesn't matter. So if you've got questions like 7, 15, 37, 56, 45, 89, 98, 68, so that's 9 questions that you put down all together. Okay, and then what you do with those 9 questions, flag them, and when you come at the end of the paper, leave about 5 minutes left at least. You may find you've got a lot more time and you can go back and play with these time suckers and do them again, but you may not. Doesn't matter if you've got 9. If you've got 9 time suckers that you didn't have any ideas or no ideas or whatever they happen to be, flag them, okay, and come back at the end and put A, or try them again if you've got time. But if you don't have time, just put A's, put B's, put C's. You will get a mark or 2, which you would not have otherwise got. Okay. Should I mark the same option for all questions? Yes. If you don't know a question, any of the 3, whether it be you run out of time, whether it be a no idea question or a time sucker, at the end of the day, they're all things that you're not going to get marks for. Keep the thing the same. Okay. How many practice papers? Okay. I would say about 5 or 6 papers altogether. Remember, FRM, I think you can buy 1 or 2 as well. I'm going to show you, we've got availability. I'm not trying to sell you ours any more than anybody else's, but I will show you what we've got as well. Okay. Another question, can you change the answer? Yes, you can change your answers as well until such time as you push the submit button on your exam. Okay. All right, guys. Just the last little bit over here, which I just want to show you guys. Okay. Benjamin asks, is the session recorded? Yes, I will send out both the recording as well as the notes for today's session. Hopefully still today, might be tomorrow morning. But just before we conclude over here, guys, let me just show you what we have got available for you. A lot of guys have been asking throughout. Okay. Let's have a look over here. Okay, so guys, we've got the following options for you. Okay, option number one, okay, is our online program. Now, depending on where you are in your studies, this is a complete set of notes, videos, but it's on the entire syllabus. Okay, it's got a question bank with it, it's got a formula sheet with it, it teaches you how to use your Texas Instruments calculator, everything that you need for all of your studies. And I've got to whisper this, you don't need the FRM books, by the way. This isn't enough to get you through the exam. That's $300. The challenge, guys, is it may be late for you, it may not be. You decide if this will be of value to you. Option number two is where I would send everybody. It's the revision and exam program. Option number two. It revises the entire syllabus for you in both notes and video format. Okay, so you get the entire FRM syllabus in about 18 hours, 18 hours with notes. You get 3 full practice exams with explanations. Okay, by the way, we've also included on there the formula sheet and the Texas program as well at $150. Anything else over here, guys, down, which I'll send this to you guys, is really just a la carte. If you want specific things, for example, over here, if you just want a Q bank, if you just want the notes, if you just want the videos, option 3, 4, and 5 is all in option 1 anyway, isn't it? So it just depends on what you're looking for. But if you're looking for a complete package, you go for option 1. If you are looking just for revision, you're getting close to the revision time and you're looking for just that, then you would go for option number 2, because there you get a full revision of the syllabus in about, if you sit for 2 days, around about 16, 18 hours, you can revise the whole syllabus and then do practice papers again. There's formula sheets in there for you, etc. Just by the way, at the moment, we are running a special offer. My marketing team says, please tell everybody that option number 2, which is for $150, okay, is now going for $99 just for a couple of days while we have the specific session for you. There is, just go onto the website, but don't forget to put the coupon code FRM99. It's case sensitive, so FRM99, and you will get option number 2, which is what, guys? Videos on the entire on the revising the syllabus, notes revising the syllabus, 3 full practice exams, 6 videos on how to use your calculator, your Texas, and formula sheets as well, just for a couple of days. But I will send that through to everybody still today. If you wish to take advantage of it, don't delay. Not just because of the price, you can get a better price, but you must start to do practice papers wherever you get them from fairly soon, particularly if you are writing then in August. Okay, we have a few questions still to handle over here. From Lisa, should I learn by heart the values on the normal table? No, you will. They will give you the little extracts of that in the question. Please don't learn that off by heart. Okay. How do we access the free practice papers by GOP? I'm not sure if GOP is giving them away free anymore. They used to. I think now you have to pay about $100 or $150 or something for those. Okay. Question over here: what is the average mark for an edge mock exam? If you're doing our papers, you should be getting around 65. Okay, we do make them fairly difficult. Okay, so and we have to, because we want to get you ready for the exam, of course. Okay, guys. On that note, as promised, okay, hopefully still today, I will email everybody with 3 things: the video recording, and the 2 sets of notes that I've used for today. Okay, and as I say, guys, please feel free to make use of the special for the next couple of days. Last question over here, guys. What should be the targets to clear the exam? Look between 65 and 70. I know it's hard, but it's where they're at. Okay, and I just want to go to my next page, and with this I'm going to conclude. I especially put this in for everybody. Best of luck to everybody. Okay, so we're wishing everybody the most amount, and I don't necessarily like the word luck. I would rather, when I change this next time, I'm going to say the most amount of success to everybody, because people that have studied, they don't need luck. They need a little bit of luck that everything should go their way on exam day, but we wish them success. Most amount of success, guys, and hopefully we will see everybody then in FRM part 2. Thanks so much, guys. We'll chat to everybody soon. And guys, you've all got my email address. I'm going to put it on this document as well. If you want to contact me, let me put it here for you. Please feel free to reach out, russellj@ebs.co.za. Feel free to shout if you need to. Guys, have a wonderful time. Study hard, learn well, and best of luck then for your exams.